I talk a whole lot about we making the World Cup, right? I had guarantees and I had everything set, and I say, well, all right, we can't lose and we can't make the World Cup. But after watching that USA game,
16 years ago in Haiti, we were denied fame and glory. On the road to Germany. A new breed, similar journey, trying to erase that memory. On the road to these Yankees. On the road, on the road, getting a thing. On the road, we go in Italy. Yeah. Sure. On the road, on the road, yeah. On the road, we go in Italy. Hey, thanks to you, yeah. These are true to me. You need everything more.
They were listening to some tunes to take me on the road to the States.
What's the man on the wing? Hey! Dribble on day. What's that rap?
I'm calling all producers. I'm calling Explicit and Mevon and them, Casey and Kyle Phillips, who's here some big producers. We need something.
Bacchanal in the stadium. On the road we go in Italy. Calypso football at its best. TNT versus the rest. On the road we go in Italy. Hey. Captain Morris and old Spider-Man, Francis Fortin and Williams, Lawrence Ali, York and Latopi, all of them on the journey. Charles Alabi, Morris, Jameson, Chineskin and Lewis. On the road, on the road, on the road, we go in Italy. Yeah, them shouting goal.
All the young artists now, they can't depend on Super and them to do this again, and Colin and them. We need 2-3 tune for the Warriors to take we through. The way the Gold Cup looking, I'm not sure. Welcome to the Corey Shepherd Podcast. Still working on affordable imports in applause, right? We're working on it, we get in there, but welcome. Long time I ain't talked only by myself, you know. I am doing something today that I've never done before. I am doing something today that I don't know what they expect me to do again, but after this episode only taking in right now about Kenny Phillips, right? I think, you know, Kenny have a way of talking about things where Kenny just say in passing, yeah, I play guitar and that. Well, yeah, I do this too. Kenny is talk plenty bravado and gusto when he talking about other people's work. But then from the time he started talking about his work, he said, imagine he play a song, he said, yeah, I was just feeling it. He said, I was just feeling it. So I decided that since Kenny wanted to come here and play Mr. Humble, I am doing an episode entirely dedicated to the music and the great legacy of the great Kenny Phillips. I couldn't do it no other way. Because the amount of music, when I said, I keep saying, you didn't just shape an era. Because the guitar and some of the licks he play, just in his time of playing with Leston Paul as a studio guitarist, then playing on stage with Chandelier, and then taking the chance to go and start production and put out music out there. He himself saying, boy, the quality, you know, we wasn't there yet, but it was good enough. You know, he said that in the interview too. And some of that early music he worked on still remains today. The music that shaped from that late 80s all the way through the 90s. He don't want to say, so I go say it. And then the man make children to give him more. Big Father's Day week. The man, like, you know, he make children to control and dominate and contribute. Let me don't use the words control and dominate. The man is starting to get uncomfortable when I say words like that, but certainly make great contributions to it. So I decided to come in here and I'm going and just sit down with Oli and talk and play some tune. All the songs on this episode, and Melissa Long, all the songs on this episode are played by Kenny Phillips. I just select some of my favorite. I'm not going to say played, either produced by or he play guitar on them. Composed by or guitar at minimum, because some of them, which I didn't know, he telling us that he's like, yeah, I pretty much play everything on that, you know what I mean, Mr. B says, so I just play everything. I think one guy played, you know what I mean, he's so humble. Not what I expected. I expected Kenny to come here and tell him the truth. about how he dominated the space, but he's supremely humble, something that I appreciated and all of us could learn from. But I inspired by just listening to his music to be able to record the episode. And also, if I inspired by Kenny, a little bit expired by the Soca Warriors, right? Because I see Yorkie. I always remember when York was assistant coach under Latapi, and we went to the States and we played them and we get 6-0. And Latapi, for some reason, didn't come and talk to the press himself. He sent New York to talk. And boy, listen, New York come out there. And that man, Robbie for it. You know, they used to call Dwight York the smiling assassin in Manchester United days. You know what I mean? Always pleasant and thing, but a killer. And that man wasn't smiling that day, but he come out and he Robbie for it and he said, Lord, it's almost like he said, Lord have mercy, what I get myself into here with Latapi. And now the roles reverse where Latapi's our assistant coach and New York, York is the coach. So when USA hand me a handful Monday or Sunday, that game was Big Father's Day, you know what I mean? And they give you a handful. I thought York would have just sent letters. I said, well, he could have returned the favor to him and say, letters, you go out there and talk to them, you know what I mean? Since you do me that last time. But he came and he spoke to the press and it was inspiring. Maybe by the time you're listening to this, we gearing up to play Haiti, a Super Blue song play, arranged and produced by Kenny Phillips. Haiti in we way right now, for the Gold Cup at least. And if we could beat Haiti and then beat Saudi Arabia, we have a chance to go into the next round of the Gold Cup. But the way we look, say a special prayer for the Warriors. You know what I mean? Say a special prayer for the Warriors. I feeling like we in some trouble. I was looking to book flight. I reached the point where I organizing flight and I said, well, all right, if I go and I stay by my sister this time and if we get a draw in January, we go. I'm feeling like I should be looking for alternate routes to vacationing. But we ain't here to talk about that, you know. We here to talk about the greatness of Kenny Phillips and I challenging all the young producers, with the songwriters, women like Shaft and them who's write up all the tune and them for Carnival. Come together. The artists and them are to come together. Every great run we make at a World Cup qualifier had a signature song associated with that World Cup qualifier. And this is the only one that do had none. Salute to Maximus, because Maximus was the man who do 2005-6, I believe, Soca Warriors, and a few remixes to it where I had the pleasure of being in Germany and see what that song did. It had nowhere you could have go in your Trinidad jersey and random people around the place not stopping you to say, whoa, whoa. Everywhere you go, people was just chanting that. Anybody who was in Germany could have tell you that. We need a signature song. I feel like that is what keeping me back. Don't blame the coach, don't blame the players, don't blame the fans, don't blame nobody else. We putting the blame right now squarely in the creative world, the artists, the producers, the songwriters. Just like how that road to Italy, and Colin come here and talk about the football dance, used to say this to the players' names. That kind of pride, a man here when Leonson Lewis go put it in the net for we. Or, you know, Clayton Morris was the captain back in 89 when they call the player name. Even if you don't want to call to my man name, like when Maximus and the Soca Warriors. And somebody had come in the Warriors, coming down. That's something like Bungie. The way I sing it, I hope I'm correct. The artists now, the producers, the writers, we need a little tune that could lift these fellas' spirit, because if we go into the World Cup qualifiers playing the way we did play against the USA, we got a problem. But as I say, greatness is on the way. I just tell you, one of the songs I was surprised by when I hear Kenny Phillips say he played guitar and that he had to be about 11, you know it? Wait, stop. I want you to understand, right? I want you to understand something. I'm talking to the people who know and the people who didn't know. When I say, when Kenny say he play on the thing, and from now on, every time I talk to Kenny, I'm going to call him and talk to him the same way how he's put Iowa voice, like, Kenny. That's a new way of greeting him, Kenny. But when he say play on it, right? What you're hearing to start this record is Kenny Phillips' guitar. And you know the thing about it, right? Before we record, Kenny keep asking me, what you need me to work with? And now I'm sorry I didn't say I get on an amp, you know? Good Lord.
Audrey, you are moving nice. You won't take the doc advice.
You know I'm suffering with the flu. The doctor tell you what you have to do.
I know you telling me you don't agree.
What did doctor tell you to give me?
Give me the thing when the doctor order me. Give me the thing.
Girl, you know it's important.
Give me the thing when the doctor order me. Give me the thing.
Why you act so reluctant?
Give me the thing when the doctor order me. Give me the thing.
Girl, you know me condition.
Give me the thing when the doctor order me. Give me the thing.
And I need your attention. Audrey, girl, I want to know why you have me suffering so. Can't you see that I am very sick and really want to get better quick? Now will you stop your fooling about?
I draw the medicine down inside my mouth.
Give me the thing when the doctor order me. Give me the thing.
Girl, you know that I want it.
Give me the thing when the doctor order me. Give me the thing.
Can't you give me a little bit?
Give me the thing when the doctor order me. Give me the thing.
Why you hiding the medicine?
Give me the thing when the doctor order me. Give me the thing.
Audrey, give me the reason.
All that chin in it. Daddy man, you see that chin in it? Like my father was telling me a story. He say, boy, he playing in kitchen at 10 the time because Give Me the Thing is one of them songs I remember. And my memories be murky sometimes, but like I remember as a little child going in the tent with my father, you know what I mean? You're getting a chance to see a little bit of rehearsal and them kind of thing. Of course, I can't go in the tent late night them times, but when they're rehearsing and thing. And if it's not a song, it's the pillow. But it had one of them where Kitchener had a woman on stage, but I kind of know someone. Daddy could remind me when he hear this, but it running him down like he running down the doctor. It had to be this running down the doctor for the injection. Give me the thing. Running down the nurse for the thing with the doctor on it. I wonder what the thing is what the doctor did order him, boy. You know what I mean? When you listen to these things as an adult, you start to learn some lessons. Know what the doctor did order him. I wonder if the doctor could order one. I wonder if I could get a prescription. And somebody was here. I guess one time who was talking about the efficiency of words. And I think it have few people in this world better than Kitchener. I was talking to Devon Stewart earlier this week, and you know, he's extremely passionate. I want to tell you that when Devon record, what he's saying on camera is not no betrayal of what he's saying every day, you know, because I talking to him and he passionate about seeing things like pan in schools and making us change to really respect the instrument that we call the national instruments. And I feel the same way about things like this. When I hear Give Me the Thing, I listen to the lyrics in it and them kind of thing, it's literary genius to be able to tell a story with so few words and put somebody in place. Man say, stop your fooling about and put the medicine down inside more. It's a whole story, the man telling and putting it together. So I can't understand for the life of me what they were fought and here fought and when since and all them thing in Macbeth and them. I couldn't understand. They beat me. They beat me all over my body. Because I couldn't learn Macbeth and I still don't understand Shakespeare up to today. But as a little child who come from here and belong to here, nobody couldn't tell me nothing about Kitchener. When you listen to that song today, the song's still fresh, the song's still nice, you know what I mean? Salute to Kenny Phillips, everybody else who would have worked on the song. Today's lively catered to Kenny here. They say give people their flowers while they're here. Kenny was here and we gave him flowers. We didn't play no music in here. Like when I listened to the episode and edited, bear with me, I hear in them songs in my head when he talking about them songs, and I say, but wait. Some people who might be listening to this might know none of these songs. They might have never heard them. So it's a disservice to them if we don't come through and play these kind of songs. But again, the point I was trying to make to him is if we have music schools here, a man must teach, okay, this is Kenny Phillips guitar style. This is what he was doing. This is what Tony Vozzer was doing. This is what Junior Warwood was doing. This is what Ken Corby was doing. Men are to teach these things so that the legacy and what we have as a signature for music mustn't change. But it beat me. I have an episode next week coming up. I don't want to sell it out yet, but the man say when he went, who I consider one of the greatest musicians we have in Trinidad today. Guitarist too. We going down a guitarist black hole here a little bit. And he say when he went piano class, the theory and thing, he couldn't deal with it. I heard Colin Lucas say that. Colin Lucas play nearly every instrument that have any band to play. And he said about the music theory. And I wonder if it's because we had to adjust the way we teaching our children. If already we have hundreds of people going through a panyard and might be able to read music and might be, but they learn by rote. They learn by seeing other people play. And some of them ears so sharp, they hear everything. They could tell you, well, nah, play this, try that, do this, do that. In other words, why we limiting? We want a boxing we intelligence to something. So that if I can't sit down by a piano, they used to beat me on my knuckles. When the first set of piano lesson I went, when I hit the wrong thing, they hit me on my knuckle. And look, up to now, I learned playing music by watching an next man play. So maybe we could build an education system that suits who we are. So if we learn so well by watching and learn so well by trying and playing an instrument is what we call tacit learning anyway. Why we can't teach in the school? So I'm not saying that we shouldn't learn to read music. Because I hear Colin say he willing to go back and learn to read. No, I wish I could read music. But what we could do is adjust it. So the children like myself who care to read, you know what I mean? The reading and thing is a little difficult. But you could adjust it and allow us to learn by watching and thing. And more importantly, don't make me go to class and feel like I'm a dunce and a slow and I can't do this and I can't. Don't make me feel less. Because I can't take the same routes our next man take. Teach our children that we could be great, we could be excellent, being just who we are and showing up as who we are and doing the thing and just being very Trinidad there. And stop beating the children all over their body because Kenny play on this too, you know this?
So join and let us do the rainbow.
My backbone breaking up, my elbow shaking up. One of the greatest ever do it, the great Brigo. It's have a fella is come and record in this studio every week, right? Only know about affordable imports, right? Salute to Conrad and Kyle and Che, and these fellas are wrong here to make it everything look good and sound good. But they have a little youth man here named Aaron quietly come and tell me, you know, Brigo is my uncle. The great Brigo, one of the greatest to ever do it. One of the greatest to ever do it. So when I tell it, when I say anything like shape a era of music, I want to later understand what I'm saying, because when you're talking about neck dance, have a tune this fella Kenny Phillips, arrange, produce, engineer, and them kind of thing, you know what I mean? When you're looking for credits and you look up Kenny Phillips, you could see him on any line in the list of credits. You could see Kenny Phillips' name come up. And when you're talking about neck dance and back dance and shoulder dance and elbow dance, we have to talk about tune that have dance, no?
Yeah, what? Well, Kenny, give me some donkey brass. One more time.
Hold on. I want to be respectful here, right? I'm not a young man. And if you're from this time, you know this true. But if you're not from this time, I wonder if you know the voice who talking about. And what name she called in the beginning again?
Yeah, what? Well, Kenny, give me some donkey brass. One more time. Sisters, sing it in. This is the final stage. No more donkeying around. United myself. Watch me, carnival again.
Bacchanal for the spell.
Whoa, donkey. Whoa, donkey. Gentleman punching my back, saying this is soca, doing that. Whoa, donkey. Whoa, donkey. I know you love to whine, but not this time. We changing it around. I want to ride, I want to ride, I want to ride, I want to ride, I want to ride. Whoa, donkey. Whoa, donkey. Whoa, donkey. Whoa, donkey. Whoa, donkey.
Whoa, donkey. Whoa, donkey. Whoa, donkey. Whoa, donkey.
Whoa, donkey.
Whoa, donkey. Whoa, donkey.
We ride it. We ride it. We ride it. Hey, we happening up. Yes. Hey. Soca music jamming, man and woman jockeying.
We got a bed. United Sisters. You know, people is when I hear the song nowadays, they singing Sandra. Yes, one of the greatest to ever do it. But the song was done by not just singing Sandra, but the United Sisters. Marvelous Marva, Tigress singing Sandra, and Lady B. Now, somebody with a lot of industry knowledge had to tell me how United Sisters end up with Donkey the same time Ronnie McIntosh end up with Donkey and the Donkey dance. So it had to have a story behind that I'm missing. Who I could get here to come and talk about that point? I wonder, will you tell me who I could get to tell that story? But if Brigo say neck dance and them fellas, well, Ronnie and the United Sisters say back to front Donkey, you work out the match, right? You work out the science. You know, I'm talking about beating training school to learn, right? I don't like what they do Alexander at all. No, don't clap for that. Don't clap. I don't like what they do Xander. And Xander gone to read his first set of thing in the parliament. And Xander struggled. Anybody who's been listening to this for a long time know that I as a man, I care to read. I care to read. Reading, they say reading is fundamental, but they never really tell you how difficult it really is. The reading is no easy thing. So I'll leave Xander alone now. Let Sergeant Alexander. For those who don't know, the UNC is in power, you know what I mean? And they had the first, well, his first reading or first speech on the parliament floor. I forget what they said. His first contribution, right? And it was, I mean, in fairness, it was in fact a lot of stumbling and bumbling and so on. It was a lot of stumbling. It looked very difficult to do, I must say. You know what I mean? It looked very, he had a rough time. But I remember being a little fella, right? I was in standard 1 in Newton Boys. I'll never forget this. My class teacher name was Miss Richards. And Miss Richards had another, well, I don't know if back then he used to call it like substitute teacher or assistant. And you know, one of the things, right? If you're in standard 1, how old is you? Must be 6, 7, 8 years. Well, I've always been standard 1. Whatever age I is then. I watching Miss Richards, who was to me an older woman. And I watching Mr. Noel, who, well, I know he was young. He was young looking, but when you look at it now, like the other day, I had to go in my son's school to pick him up. And he telling me, Miss Lindsay is a form teacher. And he say, Miss Ramdawa is a maths teacher, and Miss this one, and Mr. that. And, well, a man the only man I know is a man named Mr. Simangal. So little Mr. Simangal was my geography teacher too, teaching geography in Fatima still to form 1s. But let me tell you something. When I go on in the school to pick up the man, a lady come and tell me, well, thing, he okay? I say, yeah, he good. I think it. When I say a lady, a young lady, let me say a little girl, right? A young woman. Me and no die, Miss Lindsay. When this man tell me Miss Lindsay, I expected to see a big old woman. Miss Lindsay, no, like she don't leave school. She's so young. I so sorry, me even greet the woman properly or introduce myself. I just say, yep, get your bag, let's go. She say, he all right? I say, yeah, he good, bye. Me and no daddy man form teacher. These are young girls, young ladies, very, very, very young. So I watching them. So it making me think back now. Mr. Noel and them must was 17, 18 years old. Them must was little youths teaching me as children that we watching as big old man and woman, you know what I mean? And the thing about Mr. Noel was he used to carry us out in the courtyard. If you know Newton Boys, and this I talking about the old building, right? He used to carry me out in the courtyard and you had to stand up in a circle. And when you stand up in this circle now, they're passing wrong. Well, I guess everybody would have had their own. And if you know Newton Boys, it's right next to Newton Girls, and St. Patrick's Church is in the middle. So we in the churchyard. And we in a circle, and Mr. Noel in his circle. And Mr. Noel in his circle, and everybody have the West Indian reader in their hand, and they're reading a story, right? And while they're reading this story, Mr. Noel could stop at any time. And them days, them men have a long, long ruler. Remember them days, they used to have a ruler, not a meter one, but it had a big, thick kind of light brown material. Oh, and a piece of metal running through the top of it. But I guess the metal was there to help you draw a straight line. If you had to think, the little metal boy, Mr. Noel had one of them. And when everybody reading the West Indian reader now, he could stop anytime and point at somebody else in his circle, and I supposed to pick up right where he left off and read. And boy, number 1, I can't concentrate. Number 2, if you bring me out in nature, no, I see a bird flying, me know which part we is in this paragraph. So that is one of the most mortifying experiences I ever had in my life, standing up there, waiting for he to point me out to read, right? And I remember a day I see my mother come in school. Right when we in that same circle, you know, and that man say, Shepherd Bob, come, Shepherd, you. I'm frightened now, and I see my mother come and say, and then in the middle of the day, my mother drop me to school them days. She drop me to school all early, 3, 4 in the morning. She don't drop me to school early. She drop it early. And that man called me out, and my mother did. And that man say in front of the whole class, now I thinking I am going to die. I thought that was the last day of my life, you know what I mean? And that man say, Shepherd, you tell your mother you're afraid reading. And why the whole class bust out in an uproar, my mother laughed and Mr. Noel laughed. That'd be the first time I ever see Mr. Noel laugh. But that's the only way I could have articulated back then. Because I had afraid reading. Think about it. I must be 6 or 7 years old. And my statement then was, afraid reading. I couldn't say all the. I guess I didn't know how to say if I can read them, as you couldn't say the whole sentence anyway. But I can't put together exactly why I'm afraid. But I mean, as a mother, you must be concerned. I can't imagine what was going through her mind because she must be thinking all kind of things going wrong in that school. I'm afraid reading. What's going on with he? But I also remember in that same St. Patrick's courtyard, right, where they have a belfry there. You remember the belfry? You know, all you know is a belfry. We used to go ring a big church bell. And in that belfry, every year, carnival time, artists used to pass through and come and sing right by the belfry. Some of the greats pass through at the time and sing, right? And even so many artists I talk to now, current artists who putting out music every year and our hits every year, talking about how important it is for them to go and perform in them schools. And one of those artists that came through there was DeFosto. And it stood out in my mind so much seeing DeFosto that year he had sing Batman. So it had to be 1990. It could have been 89 because 90 was the coup. And if you remember, during the coup, that Batman video was being played a lot on TTT because they have a part of the Batman song that say, I come to take over. And DeFosto had he had to get, who was Batman? Bruce Wayne, what the man name? Me know his name, not Willis, Bruce Wayne. What the hell the man name who was Michael Keaton? Me know who was the first Batman in the movie. Or one of the first Batman in our time, I suppose. But him getting that suit and performing it as children, like I remember that more than anything I ever read in my whole life in primary school. And I'm not saying that to say that we should remove reading from schools. I'm just saying that we have to respect the fact. Salute to Glenn Niles, Glenn come here and talk about that. We must respect the fact that different people's brain is work different. And different people is absorbed things different. Because me don't remember none of them kind of thing. But I remember the artists who come through and sing for we in the thing. But maybe for more than one reason, right? Maybe for love of Calypso. But maybe also because they used to unleash the Newton girls in the little belfry too, you know what I mean? Let me say, I found the passions in my life in that short space. But it makes me wonder again. I'm going back to the same thing where as early as 4 or 5 years old, you could start to teach these things and make these things a part of how we grow up and how we learn. And I had a wonder, when you look at where we are as a country and a culture, especially with Calypso and soca music now, I had a wonder where's in Liz and Monty Montano mind, Liz and Monty back in the day, you know what I mean? What is in their mind when they have a little child who interested in Calypso and interested in soca? And when you hear her talk, she talks a lot about the fact that, boy, this little boy will know what he wanted to do since then. And she said that, you would go to do interviews and you're worried about your son. You want to tell him, well, say this and say that. He's like, Mommy, cool it. I know what I want to talk about. And then she say, even though you're more worried, and when he go, he articulating himself. She say, now watching almost like it's two adults talking when a big adult who would be popular and famous on TV and thing for her, watching this person and now Machel as a little youth carrying on big conversation. I wonder what it would be like for her to take that journey, take that step to say, boy, you're doing good in school and you're doing great and them kind of thing. And I suppose, as any parent will tell you, you could do this thing, but you have to keep up with your grades and them kind of thing. And look at where he is today. Not just as an artist, as a musician, but as a businessman, as a cultural icon, as an ambassador. Look at where he landed in terms of what he does for Trinidad and Tobago as a nation, And one of the first steps in his journey is to go by little known gentleman by the name of Kenny Phillips. You know what I mean? All you know it was going somewhere, right? All you know it was going somewhere. You know, I did afraid reading, but I never really did too afraid soca, you know. You know why else I ain't afraid at all? I ain't afraid of soca parang, you know.
Baila, baila. Santa leave the North Pole and come down to Trinidad.
Hear the difference in the voice?
He failed to call in the North Pole, so he couldn't stay. He come down right away to have some fun in this land of sea and sun. Soca Santa, don't leave your bag of toys. Don't forget you have to share it with every girl and boy. Soca Santa don't want to ride no sleigh in a big time Toyota Galavantin all day. Soca Santa, Riva! Soca Santa, Santa say he intend to have a real good Christmas this time. And the place to be is this country. All them lovely chicks, parang music sick, and the tasty food. Trini woman does cook real good.
It's no Christmas time, you know what happened? All I feel is that's all happened. The song is, again, one of them things where when you hear Soca Santa, people they say Soca Santa by Machel Montano. We must not forget the great Daisy Fossey. We mustn't forget La Divina Pastora, who was also part of that song. So again, as I said in the beginning, all the songs in this episode, bar none, was touched by Kenny Phillips in some way. Most of the songs in this episode were mentioned by Kenny Phillips. How Kenny just talk about these songs in passing? Yeah, man. I do Soca Santa too. You know what I mean? I do Too Young to Soca. Yeah. You know, and one more thing I want to say about Machel, right? Before I play the last Machel song that Kenny had mentioned, Kenny was telling his story about Machel getting forward in the Kennedy Center with this song. But before I move on from Machel, one of the things that you stand to understand about who Machel is, right? Whether you talk to current artists today, or you talk to people who was around when they see Machel for the first time, and you know, he now as a little boy coming in, the response to it is the same. When I ask the people who was around in the 80s, hey, when will you see him? Or like in the industry, they know he was great. Everybody, including Kenny yesterday, Kenny say, yeah. You know he has something. Well, from the time you see him as a little boy, you know he has something. And then when you hear the current artists today, the way they talk about him as the pinnacle and the greatness that he is, the level of precision, the level of work that goes into it, is something that we had to salute, right? It's something that we had to salute. This is a song Kenny once again talk about in passing.
All right, now the bacchanal start. I want everybody to loosen their waist. Come on, hey, give me.
Well, you remember how Machel used to whine this time? When you get holy car whine so again. Ask me how I know.
Mama, oi, mama, oi,
Mama ding ding.
mama, oi.
Mama ding ding.
Watch me. By all means, this is time to party. By all means, this is time to bet. Everybody whine and roll and lose control. It's bacchanal, oh Lord, bacchanal, oh Lord. Wheel and tumble, get on body, me fet. Everybody raise your hand in the air, let's party. Whine, oh Lord, raise your hand in the air, let's party. Whine, say jump up and whine. Whine, whine, mama. Oh,
This time, if you didn't say mama in your song,
raise your hand in the air, let's party. Raise your hand in the air, let's party. Come on, come on. I want to see the ladies whining. Don't hold it back. Let me put on low.
mama ding ding.
Put on low.
Mama ding ding.
Put on low.
Mama ding ding.
Put on low. I like that. Watch this. By all means, carnival is to jump up. By all means, man, it's time to bet. People just wave and roll, wind out your soul. It's bacchanal, oh Lord, bacchanal, oh Lord. Jump and dance and get on body, me fit. Everybody raise your hand in the air, let's party. Ding, 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 ding. Raise your hand in the air, let's party. Wine, say bend down and wine, mama, wine, wine, mama. Say back and wine, wine, wine. Come on, I said raise your hand in the air, let's party. Raise your hand in the air, let's party. Watch me, give me a hug. Yes.
All right, you see how you start with give me horn? That's too old for horn now. Is it no horn now? What the hell is going on? You think you could recover from that at this age on stage? These are among many others. Some again, some of them selections. Crucial songs to what soca was sung in like at the time or the era we was in, the sound of soca. So when I say the man shape and create an era of soca, it's not no joke we talking about, it's real thing we talking about. Again, one of the things that maybe people know. Part of my mission is to make sure that people know these things, right? Because I remember where I was when my father told me Kenny Phillips is the man playing on this song. That's how important it was to me, because it is not just one of the most iconic songs in soca music or Kai soca, calypso, whatever you want to call it. It will outlast all of us. When I talk about forever music, people who not here on this earth yet going to be grooving to this song and talking about the greatness of this song. Let me give you an example, right? Kenny sent me something last night. Oh, he was telling me during the interview, or maybe at the end, where he had done an interview with Leston Paul and Pelham Goddard. I say, I had to see that. I had to hear the men talking about it. And when he asked them, one of the first questions he asked them was, tell me what is each one of your breakout hit. And the way Leston responded to it, Leston said, well, he get the harps a goal for Duke, right? Which was one of the, is a huge record album at that time, right? If you look at some of these songs on harps a goal, including one of my favorite Duke songs, which is Freakin' Stricken. Let me just say that, right? Well put together, well written, hell of a song, right? And Leston say, this was the song that make me. This is the song that put me on the map and sing that album. And he play a song by Duke called Work in It. Veterans who listening to this know that how much I love that song and how many times I play that song. Out of all the songs I ever play to open episodes, that Work It Up was might be up there with all the songs I ever played to open. Work it for me. Work it up for me. Do the thing for me. Bad song by Leston Paul, right? And he talk about that song. And I remember, now think about it, right? The time that song was done, that had to be the 70s. Me born yet, right? And I remember just doing research and trying to find Duke songs. And them days what I'm doing is a scene where it's the political or the crime situation, wherever going on in the country, and I'm trying to find songs to match it. So at night, I in a rabbit hole listening to Duke by the great Kelvin Pope going down. And I hear that Work It Up for the first time maybe in I started this podcast during COVID. So during COVID is the first time I hear that song Work It Up. And I want to lie to you, I must have played that song 100 times that night. The production is pristine, the song bad, and I had to call my father and say, this song, Work It Up, that was a hit. Like, that was a big song. And that man said, boy, that was a huge song. He's telling me a story about when he buy his first car, he pulling bull them time in Laventry Road. And he say he used to blast that Work It Up coming up and down Laventry Road going through Febo Village back in the day. So, moral of the story is this. You see great songs and hit songs, and that's what I like to call forever music. People who ain't born yet go latch on to some of these things and might discover them 100 years from now. And when they hear it, and they themselves might wonder, you ever wish you was back in an era, like when you listen to some of the great music, like Johnny Mathis is an artist that make me feel like that. When I listen to him, I say, boy, and my wife is always say that too, you wouldn't like to live in these times, boy. Or I listen to some Bob Marley and say, boy, what was it like when them fellas was out and performing? And what was it like when Feel It in the One Drop was a brand new song and you hear it for the first time? And I could tell you that the feeling is probably the same, because a hit song is a hit song. And forever music is forever music. And when you have a man like Kenny who built to make forever music and make so much forever music in this time, and you put he to open the song, it's something that we must honor. Relax. Well, let's sit back down. Control yourself. Keep your eye on the road. I just want to let it be known that what you're hearing is Kenny Phillips playing that guitar to start this song. Relax, everybody, keep calm. To me, and Kenny, when we something and you tell me that you're going and do a thing about opening of songs, right? How songs open, and do a series on that. You know what I mean? You should do a series on how you open songs, one for yourself. Do a whole episode on yourself. Another story I want to tell about this song, right? My father told me he was playing in Kitch Tent, and of course, Baron was a staple in Kitch Tent at the time. And he say, when he get the music for Feeling It on stage, he come to play Feeling It. He say he accustomed playing for Baron. He and Baron, you know what I mean? He in the tent, he playing for whoever singing. And Baron is an icon in the tent or a legend in the tent, big star already. So he playing. And that man say, When time to play Feeling It, he never heard this song. He never heard the original. So he just play wherever he feel. And then he said, Baron really watch him a kind of way. He said, Baron watch him. And he play and everything was done. And he didn't take on that. He said, next time Kitch Tent playing, he said, when he come on his stage, he see a next guitarist. You know, you have Blue Vex, you in a band, they bring a next guitarist. He said, Baron went and get Kenny Phillips to come up the road to play this. You know? He said, the guitar man, like, he can't play the thing. No, daddy, and I got to make sure I say this, right? Because the father's there, I got to go back by my father or something. He said, it's not that he couldn't play. He just never heard anything before. But of course, after he heard it, he licking it up. But, you know, to show you how important it was for Baron as an artist, who by this time is Baron a tune, Baron is Baron. All the goal and the Baron is Baron. And that man went and tell Kenny, here what, when we play in the tent, you come and play. Because whenever I play Feeling It, I need to hear.
Feeling it.
Great Leston Paul, great Baron, great Kenny Phillips, right? Listen. If you know already that is Kenny playing the opening, right? Then you love it. But I want you to listen to the whole song again and listen to the guitar work inside the song. Because people just talk about the opening and thing, and the opening is iconic. People, you know what I mean? The guitar man is recreate that lick and play it that way. Because you have to. If you're going to play feeling it, as Daddy find out the hard way. Yeah, have to. You have to play it so. But listen to the guitar work down inside the, when they reach down in the gurbi, listen to the kind of guitar work the man do down inside. Great Kenny Phillips, he come to celebrate. Kenny. Kenny, you can't come on this podcast and talk about certain song and tell me that is the first song you ever put out. Kenny, this song, as a producer, switching from a studio guitarist to a producer, and this being the first song you ever put out, I don't take people back to what this song do that year. He talk about it in terms of Duke win the road match that year with not Rokonko Tonko. I can't remember this song Duke win with now. I think it's Thunder. If I only hold you tonight, it's Thunder. Big song, right? I can't take nothing away from Duke. Duke is one of the greatest to ever do it. But anybody who was alive during the time of this tune, according because this man no call song. Hey, this is this tune. You see this tune, Kenny? And he say, I asked him, I said, well, how you and Iowa? Because he and Iowa is partner. How all you link up? He said, well, that man just show up by my home by me. You hear him at times he just say, this one just show up by him or this one or this. You know, Kenny's name started getting known. This is heading into the late 80s now. You had to understand that this little period here is dominated by people like Charlie's Roots. So I had them here, right? David Rudder was dominating this time. Colin Lucas and them in the mix in this time. It was the bands and the big band song that was dominating in that era, right? All the way from anywhere between 85 and 90, the bands still have a chokehold on it. Keep in mind that when you're talking about road match, you're talking about 86 being Rudder. I think it could have been 87 where Duke win with this, win with Thunder. Then 88, 89 is probably Tambu back-to-back them 2 years. If not 88, 89 is 89, 90. Tambu and the Detroit Pistons was somewhere around the 89, 88, 89, right? You don't understand how dominant it was. So when Kenny telling that story so casually and so cool and so humble, right? This is an artist who nobody don't know. And a producer who nobody don't know as a producer. There's a man who earlier in the interview, he said, listen, and them telling me, can't open no home studio. Now the home studio kicking. He talk about a man who will come up in credits a lot if you watch the credits for albums. A man by the name of Frank Agarat, right? Who, from a technical perspective, everything I hear from everybody, they talk about Frank Agarat as being a genius technically. When it comes to recording and figuring out things with Frank Agarat, they say that's a man to call. Kenny say he doing the tune and he's stuck. And Iowa had the tune and he talking about the parts of the tune that them fellas had together. But I want to talk before I play it about some of the parts of the tune. This make Iowa my favorite soca artist of all time. You know? Other than the fact that he said tune and Kenny. That will make him my favorite of all time. And this is where it starts because the boom boom big, the boom boom small are putting waist on all. You're not hearing nothing like that in time. No. Keep in mind, I small. Mr. Noel and them still beating me to learn to read, you know. I can't read that. Afraid reading. But I know boom time. Another line in it. Put a woman in front and a man behind. Bet your life. The bong to wine. Things that, listen, you're wondering where this man come out from. He come out with a style that nobody never see before. He not looking like a Calypsonian. Or looking like, again, I want to take you back to this time. That is not a look. I have a big kangle on the head. The old people, them just say, you have on a gym boots, your tongue outside, your jeans bottom. It was the antithesis of what would have been needed. And Duke was the thesis. Duke is a man. Salute to the great Duke. Duke is a man always well-dressed. Real true Calypsonian. Gold and jewelry and well-dressed and coming out looking the part. Then this two upstart from South, both who own radio stations now that focusing on local content. Keep that in mind, right? But two upstart from South come in town with boom time. Them fellas say the tune they mix properly, they master properly thing, and they don't want to play and not playing it. And And according to Kenny, you're going to sleep one night knowing you're in the head of the road march race. And then the next morning you're here, boy, if only Lego Hamlet is thunder. But again, greatness on both sides of the fence. But people who wasn't there or don't know the time, you had to appreciate exactly what this song did and what these two fellas come together to do as fellas who's, as they say, as he say, upstarts who come in looking for it. Sorry, apologies, but you had to listen to Iowa voice here, boy. Here now, you hear the newness and the man brand new, his voice still shining. Saying boom boom in a song was revolutionary. Yes.
Running up she mouth. She says she don't like man to wine in front she long long. For the carnival in the heat of the festival, she want a man to wine behind she boom boom.
Oh Lord.
Wine behind the boom boom. Oh yeah yeah. Wine down on the boom boom. Wine behind she boom boom. For the carnival I mean all around the waist. Get on in the place. Wine behind she boom boom in the festival. Walk it up, walk it up.
You gotta understand that these youths now talking about this, on the social media, they say, the man who want too much a front wine. That's why I was talking about, he said, go behind.
Jam it up, jam it up. The lady come watch me. Straight up in my face, Lord. Rolling up she belly. Twisting up she waist. She said, Mr. Iowa.
Yes?
When you're singing soca, I want a man to wine behind the boom boom.
Oh Lord.
Wine behind the boom boom.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Wine down on the boom boom.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Wine behind the boom boom. For the carnival, I mean, all around the way.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Get down in the place. Wine behind the boom boom in the festival, Lord. Rough it up, rough it up. Twist it up, twist it up.
I want to rough it up and twist it up. Good advice.
Roll that boom boom. Roll that boom boom. If the boom boom big, boom boom small, me ain't afraid them at all. Boom boom big, boom boom small, I put in weights on all. If the boom boom big, boom boom small, me ain't afraid them at all. Boom boom big, boom boom small, I put in weights on all. If the boom boom big, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. Oh, now check this, check out this, check it out good.
Tell me.
Put a woman in front and a man behind. Bet your life she bound to wine. Keep a woman in front and a man behind. Watch him good, that is wine. Keep a woman in front and a man behind. Bet your life she bound to wine. Keep a woman in front and a man behind. Watch him good, that is wine. Big, boom boom small, me and friend them at all. Boom boom big, boom boom small. I put in weights on all wine behind she boom.
You know, Iowa first tune, right? Let me talk about Iowa family. Iowa first tune is a big, big whining tune. But when Iowa on stage, Iowa don't whine at all. Pause, not that I'm complaining about, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, I'm just pointing out something, right? Salute to Iowa. And you know, again, Kenny talk about these things so casually. Can he say, yeah, that was the first song I produced. I did not know that. I find out that when he's saying that, I was like, what, this is what you come out with out the gate? And you expect not to be a problem in this industry. People must find there's a problem if this is his song. If this is his song you're introducing yourself to me with, it's boom boom time. And now I want to talk a little bit about range, right? Before I go into some, I can't even say go into classics because everything here I play so far is classics. But another story he gave me in this, which is a good thing I asked the question because when he say, yeah, I work with Shorty too now, I work with Shorty. And I was like, watch out my children is why you work with Shorty. Okay, it's almost like he wasn't going to say is watch out my children. He's just talking about it. So I want you to listen to this, right? After listening to Boom Boom Time. Just in case you're not of that ilk and you want to cleanse your palate, let me cleanse your palate for you. What rain?
This song is dedicated to all my sons and daughters through the four corners of the earth.
I want to pause again. Sorry, I apologize. These are not songs that you could stop too often. You know? But I have a man who's listening to this podcast. Salute to my guy Brent. And I saw him make a post the other day that I had to talk about, right? When he say, music gone from singing Sandra, Die With My Dignity, to Lady Lava and whatever it is she's singing, right? And I put these two songs back to back to make a point to my partner Brent, who's a lover of the culture and the art form. Music must move between and among and around them thing. The same song. I was so glad that my partner Goofy, salute to Goofy, who points out, hey, the same singing Sandra who sing Die With My Dignity and crying in the ghetto, voices in the ghetto and thing. Is she sing donkey, you know, and back to front donkey and so on, you know what I mean? Music is an expression. Less than Paul say. At one point, Kenny said, but less than that real whining tune, you know. Less than say, well, that's how we come on this earth. So if Lady Lava don't sing her up and her down, it's no children to watch out for, you know. That is how children is make. So I find that a space in culture. We have to stop this thing that we, you know, the virtue signal in the youths. I use some of these youthful terms now. That says that because it have songs like Watch Out My Children and Serious Messages, it can't have a song like Boom Boom Time. It's important. I also want you to know that it's very, very likely. Look at this. The same producer who producing Boom Boom Time is the man who producing Watch Out My Children. That is how music's supposed to work. When an artist comes with an expression, a producer, and can he say anything? No, can he say that might work? I here to make this tune into a hit song. So what we looking for, in the words of the young or the old Machel Montano, the young or the seasoned and veteran Machel Montano, what you looking for is balance.
This song is dedicated to all my sons and daughters through the four corners of the earth. My sons and my daughters, to you I plead. Watch, don't get no horrors, but please take heed. I know you don't want no sermon, but my admonition is to guard you against all the evils of life that create strife and destroy life. Walk cautiously, children, be alert, because you have an enemy that roaming the earth. I know you're young and restless, but you don't have to be careless. You see, sober thinking leads on to righteousness, to happiness, spiritual bliss. That's why I tell you this. Watch out, my children. Watch out, my children. It have a fella called Lucifer with a bag of white powder, and he don't want to powder your face, but to bring shame and disgrace to the human race. Now we again. Watch out, my children. Watch out, my children. It have a fella called Lucifer with a bag of white powder. And he don't want to powder your face, but to bring shame and disgrace to the human race. I give you my counsel because I want to see all you young people live righteously. What you feed your mind with forms your characteristics and shape the path that you must walk tomorrow. Darkness or glow, joy or sorrow, that's why I'm concerned. So watch out, my children. Watch out, my children. Yeah, yeah. It have a fella called Lucifer with a bag of white powder. And he don't want to powder your face, but to bring shame and disgrace to the human race. To all my sons and daughters in Germany, passt auf, meine Kinder. Passt auf, meine Kinder. Da ist jemand, der heißt Lucifer, hat eine Jude mit weißem Puder. Aber will dein Gesicht nicht pudern, denn bringt den Menschen nur Schlechtes. Oh, you're young and your future is ahead of you. Right or wrong, sweet or sour, depends on what you do. Taking the wrong direction will drain your constitution and promote mental chaos and confusion. Then corruption to the inner man, and that is not God's plan. Cuidado, mis hijos, to my Spanish children. Cuidado, mis hijos. Hay un hombre que se llama Lucifer con una bolsa de polvo blanco. Y él no quiere formar tu cara, pero para traer pena y desgracia para la raza humana.
Alright, Shorty, I can't even talk English too good and read the English. I can't keep up with all the language in here. No? Greatness, listen. What you need to understand too, right? Just to put some context in before I move. Plenty of these tune, in the wise words of the great Iowa George, plenty of these tune produce just over 2 years. It's just over. All this is when this man say he no start off. This is what he coming with outside of the gate. This is what you're coming with boom time on here and saying with tune like these, right? But we must not forget. We must not forget. I tried to get him to say he's one of the greatest contributors to this genre that we call chutney music right now. The man was so humble and cool. He kind of talked about it like, yeah, but I didn't want that because and people will say all them kind of thing and all of that. So I just want to play two of these songs that from everybody I talk to. Again, is my research, right? And as I continue to do research, I have a few people from the chutney or soca chutney world, or chutney soca, who's scheduled to come on. So I'm hoping I could get that done and we could hear some of the backstory to it. But definitely a contributor to the earliest days of the shift from Indian calypsos to chutney soca. Daddy Tassa, man, he was saying he couldn't control.
This is jam. This is a soca Tassa jam. Man, play the thing now. Come on. That is it, yeah. I'm from West Savannah, red hot with fever, Indian bazaar, and they talk don't stop at all. Whee! Roll up the dancer, big salsa. Oh, better roll up the dancer, big salsa. Rip up the dancer, big salsa. Rip up the dancer, big salsa. Oh, better. Ah, boy, things warming up. Come on, big salsa. People from afar, Pinal and Cuba, come together and they're jamming the soca, jamming the soca. A section from Davy, join and start to play.
Yes.
Indian love way and they're jamming the soca, jamming the soca. Ay, ay, ay. Well, the old man getting hot. On the tassa start to cut. See Rafik from Valley Line. And the Lahin start to wine. Whee! Roll up the dancer, big salsa. Oh, better roll up the dancer, big salsa. Rip up the dancer, big salsa. Rap up the dancer, big salsa. Oh, better.
If they say Indian love way, it are no Indian love way before this.
Great pleasure this evening to welcome to the Palladium Lata Mangeshkar, Lata Mangeshkar, Lata Mangeshkar.
Yeah, Indian love way.
Bilia chamkegi soka Bilia chamkegi soka Give me soka Boy give me soka To me chapon in a shocking baby And she bear and from it and walk This pretty girl I'm a jacket all day Killing me when she fancy talk This for years a suiting she And she blushing back at me But when I send my letter I will send no answer So I hit the record shops Indian records I buy up When I read my girl She says stop, Ricky stop She said holy Lata Mangeshkar give me soca Holy Lata Mangeshkar give me soca Tickle me with a love way Soca me till I say Holy Lata Mangeshkar give me soca
I don't tell you how powerful that first verse is, right? That man say, when I send my letter, I don't get no answer. That's no DMs time, and no WhatsApp and them thing, When you send a letter, you know how long Ricky waiting for Sumin to answer to know he ain't getting an answer?
Charge me for being racist And tell me don't take them chance with she Don't let me catch you in that foolishness Trying to reach the Indian in me Like you into politics Or you coming on the tricks Boy, I'm a drink begonia I like soca action Take your Mohammed rap And bring Scott or Bali Only then you'll be talking to me Yes, Ricky She say, Holy Lata Mangeshkar, give me soca Holy Lata Mangeshkar, give me soca Tickle me with a laugh way Soca me till I say Holy Lata Mangeshkar, give me soca Holy Lata Mangeshkar, give me soca Holy Lata Mangeshkar, give me soca Tickle me with a laugh way Soca me till I say Holy Lata Mangeshkar, give me soca Give me soca Bini a chamkegi Give me soca Bini a chamkegi
Listen, I want to apologize in this episode, because these is not songs that you could stop, The only reason I'm stopping these songs is because the people at Affordable Imports going to put me out. And Kenny discography, and I always understand something here, right? He ain't want to say it, I go say it. We play Boy, I deleting as I go to make sure I remember not to play the same song twice because some of them I love so much I might end up play them over and over for the whole episode. But think of the amount of song we play here. Every single one we play here today is classics, right? Classics. And we ain't scratch the surface of the thing that Kenny do in music yet. We ain't scratch the surface. We ain't reach nowhere. Before I wrap up and then come out, I have a little dedication to do in loving memory of. You see, episodes like these, I want to do more of them because I like the idea that people right here when we're doing these kind of things so that they could hear the love that we have for them while they're here, while they're around still. And unfortunately, this artist that I'm going to play would have passed away earlier this year, and she's a part of the tapestry of Trinidad and Tobago Christmas. Guess who is the producer? Salute to the great Susan Machel. It's in Christmas time. I just wanted to pay respect to the great Susan Machel, a song that it's a plenty soca parang and plenty parang soca and all kind of different, man say political parang. It's a plenty of them, but few songs resonate with anybody who from down here as much as that. Again, we're scratching the surface. We're scratching the surface onward. But before I wrap up, before I get out here, or before they come out, let me just say before I get out, because me ending this episode is not by choice. I want you to put that on people like Conrad Beard and Aaron and these fellas and them. They played them out of the studio, but I had to tell you about this song in the 90s. After we finished that period of the late 80s and the band music was dominated and they had things like Bahia Girl and No, We Ain't Going Home and all these things within the road, March Thunder and them kind of thing. A gentleman by the name of Austin Super Blue Lions came around the corner, right? I started the episode with him, right? With that Road to Italy. And that man dominant up to today. He different. And Kenny refer to him and say, boy, you know, that man beat me coming and going. Every time I feel I have a road mad Super Blue, and I want to tell you that people had started to complain about the jump and wave era when they say it's too much of waving and too much of thing and that. You know, that usher in might have been the start of that whole Bajan invasion where music had to slow back down and get back sweeter and nicer and them kind of thing. But according to Kenny, a good partner of Iowa George, a great preacher, come by him. And them fellas put this together. I want to leave you on this song. And for those who was there, only understand. I like when I post the clips on Instagram, the difference between people who learning this now and hearing some of these things for the first time. Like when Kurt Allen do Bees and Stampede mash up the place. I appreciated that some of the people who was there understood what that song was. And I appreciate the people who wasn't there and never hear it or, you know, listen to it and hear it for the first time and could only imagine what PSA was like back then. This is another one for the newbies. if you wasn't there and understood what this was any time, how powerful this song was, it didn't have no way it was going that you wasn't hearing this song play. And it might be fitting, Kenny said this is the only road march, but maybe that is for a reason, because this song's supposed to stand out on its own.
Trouble take them. Look out.
I can't start this over. Sorry, they gotta promote, but listen, is the power in the start? Don't a preacher voice, preacher attack the song. Why everybody was so aggressive on this track, Kenny?
Trouble take them. Look out. Let's go. Hey, Lord. All in the holy thing, let's go. Hands up, everybody. Jump and wave, jump and wave, jump and wave. Get on in the party. Jump and wave, jump and wave, jump and wave. We love we carnival, yes, we love we bacchanal. Find something, anything, Trinidad and Tobago. It's time to let go. Take out your coach, Carnival, bacchanal, Carnival.
See just how Casey pull out the plug? Aaron and Conrad and them now come and pull out the plug on me. One of the greatest ever. Go and look for it. Preacher, Jump and Wave. One of the greatest songs, Kenny Phillips. Again, unprecedented that I've done an episode. I don't release episodes after I put out the Icons episode, but I feel like it was only fitting to do this today. And to show love to Kenny Phillips and everything that he's done and all the humility he showed by coming and talk about these things. Like, I did that too. So I hope you get appreciation in this bonus episode for what Kenny Phillips really do.